Masters, not since the Tarek days from last split. We would see that a lot.
A control ward was also invested on this start. So this is actually really interesting. I believe that came through from Graves, just looking at where that would likely come from, but don't have a full information on that. This would give them full information that this was not warded friendly by ROX Tiger, so they have no control over the bot side jungle whatsoever. So how will the pathing go? Now, given the vision, you expect ROX to go blue to enemy red because they have wards around the enemy red. And they also popped in this ward around the Raptor, so they have more information than SKT respects. And ROX is level 1, pretty resilient. And one of the reasons why you don't see 5-man invades is you usually lose out on map vision because you only get vision in one quadrant.
Well, this is painful as expected here for Mickey to start things off. Faker just laying the pressure on thick thus far. We're forcing out a lot of those charges from the Corrupting Potion. Try to keep Mickey healthy here.
I expect to see Mickey play to the top side, given that Rengar is taking the Raptors on that side. Faker's just being a jerk. This is how the matchup goes, though. All-in trades certainly favor the Cassiopeia early, and it's so non-committal. You get the mana sustain from last hits on the Twin Fang that you don't sacrifice anything, and you basically completely invalidate the item's choice to start off with, the Corrupting Potion.
While Mickey has a bit of a rough matchup, you can see it's going the same way for Huni up top thus far, as the Renekton's starting to lay down quite a bit of pressure. More Shield and Potion still there for Huni, so he's going to have that passive regen as well as the on-demand. So he needs to focus on keeping up in CS for the moment.
His build path is so simple, though. Doesn't even have to build.
Chain Vest into whatever you want that has armor.
I mean, Sunfire obviously seems like the common one. Probably not going to be a Tiamat in the matchup. But you don't even really need a Spectre's Cowl. Maybe a single Spectre's Cowl as a third item just to have some magic resistance because it's so stat and slot efficient on its own. But really no pressure to build anything other than tabbies, etc. The tank way. Ninja Tabby into Sunfire. So where do you stand on the obvious Shen Mortal Kombat reference? Are you a Sub-Zero or a Scorpion man?
I
know, it's a tough question. They're both pretty cool.
That's a tough one. I'd probably have to go with Scorpion just because of the Scorpion fight from the original Mortal Kombat movie was quite cool, whereas the Sub-Zero one left a little bit to be desired.
For once, I have no dissenting opinion on movies. The first Mortal Kombat, pretty damn cool. The rest of them, let's pretend they didn't happen, just like Haru on CJ Entus.
It was, yeah. The second one's really bad. When they turn into dinosaurs at the end of it for no reason.
Thought Sub-Zero was pretty cool as a kid, but I can't really argue with the Scorpion choice.
I mean, the whole get over your shtick is just pretty neat, so.
Exactly.
But we don't have many more skins like that.
That's true. Those are definitely the 2010 Riot Games ideology of skins, where it's like, we can do some sick ripoffs. Look at this King Rammus. What could that possibly be from?
It's an original idea.
I wonder how Riot Games feels when those are chosen in LCS 7 years onwards. They cringe, or they're just like, yeah, King Rammus.
Not many people have that. Is Peanut going to come over this wall? Oh, he's not going to get spotted here. Mighty Bear, move away from the wall so he doesn't get clipped by that end of the line. That's still laying down a bit of damage. Land that bola, so he will be able to hightail it out of here. But now the Raptors are going to be contested.
Looking for a collapse from the laners. You can see Zyra taking a long path, Karma taking a direct one, but Mickey's here too.
Mickey's coming nearby. It's like, Peanut, does he want to stick around? Not going to be able to get the smite. He'll just go ahead and quick draw away.
Mickey really didn't want to parkour over the Raptor wall closest to the lane, otherwise then he wouldn't be able to use that as a defense for a defense mechanism later. Only really threatening relevance. Gotta say, being 6 CS down on a Cassiopeia with a big wave pushing is not bad at all for how we saw that laning phase begin.
Yeah, it's going decently all right here for Mickey. He's got the makings of that Hex Drinker coming through as well, the Null Magic Mantle and the Longsword, so sustained game will be much easier for him.
Remember, if we just truck along at this pace where everyone's farming happy times, big CS numbers, armor is so efficient on the side of SKT that you have to assume that ROX Tigers won't be able to close the game as he does start to feign some aggression onto Faker. Has Ignite, remember.
Yep, the level 6 not there yet. Faker does have the barrier available to him, so he can mitigate a lot of that damage coming through from the Ignite. He'll try to trade back a little bit more. Can't walk up too much further, though. Doesn't want to get clipped by that turret.
Mickey's one creep away from 6. May try for the all-in in just a moment. Hopefully our cameraman will catch it if that's to happen. There's that level 6, but wise of Faker to back away. He was auto-attacking a minion, so it was very obvious to Faker that level 6 was about to be pinged. But you can see, lane control back to Mickey, which, given how level 1 was looking, lets you know that this matchup really does swing pretty far in both ways.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice turnaround for him. Meanwhile, bottom lane, we saw how much pressure Bang and Wolf were applying earlier on.
Now Shy's doing his best Faker impression, being a huge jerk himself.
Yeah, just go proxy this way, shove Mooney back, maybe force out the TP.
We're in closing on level 6 coming through from Mighty Bear. That needs to be the point where ROX Tigers get a lot done. Whether that's the standard teleport into bot, 4-man collapse, take a turret. It feels like that's almost the minimum, Achilles, because of just how physical damage centric the side of ROX Tigers are. Press purchases coming through. We're really looking for Mighty Bear to coordinate with the lanes to pull off a very impressive throw of the hunt. Otherwise, we said it many times already, SKT will just kind of get to mid to late game, be SKTelecom with itemization advantages from the holy physical damage comp from ROX, and certainly BK.
Well, so far, I mean, Mighty Bear not even having that level 6, but even if he did, pulling off that throw of the hunt would be so difficult because he's been spotted throughout his entire jungle for the duration of this game.
Smite from Peanut.
Yep, takes it away, so just getting bullied out here by Peanut.
Every time one of these little micro advantages goes to SKT, the timer on ROX hitting their item power spikes early enough is set back. Maybe it's only 5 to 10 seconds. You've only got so many of those if you're ROX before SKT are very, very favored to take this game.
For now, just going to be dead even at 8 minutes. Not seeing any advantage from either side. It's been impressive, you'd have to say. Ash Arrow flash away by Key, but still gets clipped. Lots of damage coming through from Peanut, but the heal is there from Song Yun to keep the Zyra alive. Bang almost goes down. That might just be the peel back from both sides. Now Mickey popping that Shadow Assault in mid lane. Faker's low on mana, not going to get any damage on the reproc. Mickey jumping forward though. Throws out the rake as best he can. Ignite comes down, but the barrier's there from Faker. Now Peanut coming over the wall. Flash away from Mickey, but one more hit would do it. End of the line comes through, and first blood goes over to SKT.
That's really expertly baited by Faker. It looked like he was in full control, even though he started to go down in terms of HP. 2 members here from ROX.
Yeah, it's going to be the wraparound here from Shy.
Flash is still up for Faker. It's hard to execute.
Dominus gets popped. They dash in. Bola not going to connect onto Peanut, but now they're going to be looking for Faker. Flash in. Standard United coming through from Huni as he jumps up the wall. Petrifying Gaze to lock up the Renekton as Huni arrives. And this might just be ROX having to peel back. SKT only having to invest a flash. And that Stand United, really, and they walk away deathless.
Yeah, really nice skirmishing from SKT. Felt like Faker was in full control of the 1v1, and then even with all the backup, Respect Flash from Peanut was on point as well. So nothing gained for the ROX Tigers. Only the slightest of gold leads gained for SKT. The game continues at equilibrium, which definitely heavily favors only one team, and that's SKT T1.
Yeah, we've already touched on that numerous times here with just how far ahead ROX needs to find themselves at the 20-minute mark. And right now, being behind in gold is not going to be very promising for them as we move forward.
Now, you can argue that at least SKT doesn't have a comp with double frontline, because if they had, say, Rek'Sai Shen and somehow got to late game, there's just no damage for being able to push through it. As Mickey's taking a lot of trading here.
Jumped out, jumps over the wall. That Assassin's Path, but he's got to be so careful trying to get these last couple hits in. He's able to pick up the majority of them, so he's still very barely behind in CS here. So maintaining well enough, but you have to expect he's going to have to peel back out of this lane very soon. Faker, Petrifying Gaze is going to be up relatively shortly. If he lands that, Mickey's a dead man.
You can just use it for damage as well. Doesn't even have to focus on getting the proc. If he does, confirm a Q. But yeah, just coming back to my previous point, Graves, Cassiopeia, Ashe, and Karma can only really build so much armor. It's only going to be Shen who can completely disregard the rest of his team, and Shen also. He's got Taunt, but doesn't have the most crowd control in his kit. So it's not basically game over at 25 minutes, but it's just heavy disadvantage to the best team in the world. So that's why ROX are still on that clock.
See, though, some leads starting to stretch out across different lanes. Shy, a pretty commanding lead over top of Huni at the moment, but that's going to be nullified for the most part by Bang in the bottom lane. Currently finds himself almost 20 CS up over top of Songyun.
Red, if you remember, Control Ward was committed to bot lane early. Mighty Bear's been losing his red side jungle, so ROX Tigers have to be that much more respectful. A lot of champions in that mid lane quadrant. Oh, Peanut spotted out.
Hello, Peanut. Toss up the scrying plant. Control Ward is here, though. Will get cleared out now as Key and Mighty push forward, but Songyun, he's going to be potentially bad spot here. Flashes away from the Ash Arrow, and that's just going to be him losing his Summoner spell in exchange for an ultimate. Lots of damage going down onto this turret. It's about 50% HP, so that first brick is very close to being in SKT's grasp.
He's got to an HP value where perhaps he can walk over. He'll start to now.
Well, spotted out here is Mighty Bear. Ward in the river, so that will just halt the dragon from being taken. So no further objectives going over to SKT, but ROX still struggling to find one of their own. Shy, in the meantime, he's looking to change that. He's whittling away at this top turret. Should be able to get it here on this push. So first brick actually going to go over to the ROX Tigers.
And just in a true 1v1, no jungle intervention in top, but they've been winning other lanes off the pressure, Peanut, and holding down Mighty Bear. So credit to Shy. We saw a previous game from ROX last time out where they invested in getting the Renekton ahead, but he got outscaled predictably. In this game, they do the right thing, which is get him ahead off his own merits, and now he's looking for a solo kill.
Yeah, looking forward, but Peanut's here waiting in the wings as Huni tries to bait Shy in deeper. Gonna dash forward with a quick draw, trying to get some hits in, flash in with the taunt, locks down the Renekton, and he falls. Peanut puts a second kill on the board for SKT.
And the more important thing I take away from that is the coordination between Peanut and Huni. Remember, Huni's last game was where they overinvested turret diving.
It wasn't looking great.
His lane. 0-5-1 was Huni on that day. Already the coordination between Huni and Peanut looks a lot better, and that's very important for SKTelecom. We'd expect Huni to be the starting starting top laner going in to the gauntlet, and them finding synergy is an important thing.
They put that second kill on the board, but it's not going to go unpunished here. ROX going to move over immediately. They got this Infernal Drake, no one there to contest, so just go over to them. Looks like we have a second one on the way as well.
Double Inferno's pretty happy days, given that ROX is going to have to invest heavily into penetration items in the late game to do respectable damage. So extra multipliers will throw off some of their scaling disadvantage from being physical only. Peanut just auto-attacks the Rift Herald to act as a ward for a moment, just in case any other champions are walking around that part of the river.
Baker pushing really far in underneath this tower, but still getting some decent damage in onto Mickey. Both summoner spells are up for those mid laners, so the all-ins could go either which way.
So prompted some pretty respectful itemization from Mickey as well. Pressured enough to go into the Hex Drinker. Will most likely still be the Ghost Blade early, but he won't be necessarily as threatening a Talon as you might expect.
Yeah, actually opted to not go for that first off. Did go for the serrated Dirk, but now you can see just trade damage coming out from Baker is so strong.
You will often see the serrated Dirk first just to give kill pressure in the early game. If you go for Hex Drinker, you really do lose out on even early lethality, and just because it's more defensive, it's very hard to get a solo kill with a Hex Drinker. So serrated Dirk for lane presence, then Hex Drinker. But not going to be more Malmort as you'd imagine for quite a while.
See, Caulfield's Warhammer coming in. So, just going to be sticking to the predictable build path here for the first completed item. But the CS has definitely been slipping away from Mickey in these last couple exchanges here. You can see him now down by almost 30 CS in mid.
I left wondering, when it came to a blind pick mid laner, why not Syndra on the side of ROX Tigers? You could argue because Talon can lane pretty comfortably in it. So because I feel like because ROX kind of tunneled on not giving the Talon over to Faker, who's played it a lot recently, it's kind of put them in this really weird spot where it feels like a comfortable early game, but we know that heavily favors one team over the other.
Things are going to continue here, just steady as she goes. Still barely a lead for SKTelecom, 500 up at the moment, but Baker maybe looking to add a little bit more to that as he goes in onto Mickey. Pops a Shadow Assault and just wants to dash his way out. Holds on to the flash, but still going to have to be another recall here you'd have to expect for him.
And it seems that the CS lead will only grow for Faker in the mid lane.
He's going to stick around, maybe try to bait this one out. Is recalling. Peanut, does he want to come over the wall? Ward thrown down by Mickey, spots him out, so he'll stay safe.
Yeah, flash, Q, auto ult will probably have killed Mickey. That's why they were going for that play.
See, though, pushing it onto this turret, Mickey can't walk forward enough to clear out these waves. We're actually going to have a pause come through now.
Yeah, unsure what that was caused by, maybe a weird interaction, but we'll wait and see if we get any more information.
Seems like something inside the SKTelecom booth, so try to figure this one out as quickly as possible. So, seems like it's Bang having some issue.
Mouse related, I would assume, given what he's posturing. We don't have any extra information to give you guys just yet.
Well, thank God it's not Peanut's mouse.
That's true. We've already covered that to be a long one. Look, I guessed it correctly.
Wow.
Mouse issue.
You soothsayer, you.
I feel like SKT have had disproportionately by the most mouse issues this season, but as you say, most of them were Peanut-centric.
Yeah. And that's just his fault for having to pick one of the oldest mice that you could use for gaming mice, as far as that's concerned.
The G1, was it? Something like that. G5?
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely, I think it was a G1. I mean, there's definitely older options out there that he could have been trying to use, but that's a mouse that you just can't really get your hands on these days. So having to replace that is a bit of a pain.
Yeah, legacy mouse from the StarCraft Brood War days.
Yep.
Speaking of StarCraft Brood War, you and I were at the announcement of StarCraft Remastered on the weekend.
Yeah, we were.
Korean esports.
It was quite a nice time.
It was fun. The crowd was unglued.
Yes, they certainly were. So turns out Koreans care about StarCraft a little bit.
They love this League of Legos game quite a lot as well.
Yeah. When's that crossover going to come through?
Oh.
All the characters
just have
made out of
Riot
Legos.
and Blizzard sit down. I'm sure it'll go fine.
Yeah. Let's work that one out. That'd be fun. I mean, they could do, you know, League of Legos, like just regular sets. That kind of thing. Doesn't even have to be a video game. Move away from that.
I'm waiting for the League of Legends movie, Achilles. It's going to be bombastic. World of Warcraft had a movie. Why not?
Okay.
You really love that, right? As a big World of Warcraft fan, I'm sure you love the movie.
No, it's pretty bad. It's yep, it's not very good.
Okay.
To say the least.
It's your expert review.
It's some source material that I really care about, and they took the movie and then they absolutely ruined it all.
I was going to say, you do have some. Do you even have an hour account for your World of Warcraft account?
No, I don't. I have for my one character, but there's been at least.
Give me a ballpark.
It's well over a year straight played.
Of gameplay, correct?
Yes. I'd probably say between all of my characters, which a lot of them don't exist anymore, maybe a year and a half, a year and a quarter.
So given 365 days of pure gameplay, I imagine that your review should include more than just it wasn't very good for the World of Warcraft movie.
I mean, what do you want to know about it? It's just bad overall. They ruined the storyline. The acting's not great. The armor looks like it's made out of plastic.
Do you have anything nice to say?
No.
Okay. There you go. Thorough review. Put that in the back of the DVD box, Blizzard.
They ruin everything about every character.
Well, that was resounding.
That's about it. You know, it's just okay, the one thing I can say is Duratan's death is better than in the actual lore.
Spoilers! I haven't played any World of Warcraft, to be clear. Is that a spoiler? How much of a spoiler was it?
Not. Really? One? I don't know. You would find that if you played Warcraft 3.
I played some of Warcraft 3.
Well, it's Thrall's father.
Okay.
So
all right.
He's not in Warcraft 3, but he's referenced.
There's Huni on our screen. Waiting for these mouse issues to be resolved.
Yeah. I wonder what mouse does Bang use then?
I don't know.
Something from like a Windows 95?
I mean, SKT are sponsored by Razer, so I imagine it's a Razer mouse. I know because they tweeted us all the time about SKT business.
They like the Team Razer discussion on the broadcast.
Probably don't like us talking about
probably
Peanut's
not
mouse.
Probably not when there's a mouse issue. They might not enjoy that one, but it's okay. They need just expedite ship something over here real quick. Get it to the studio.
We definitely want like more parts of our broadcast to be sponsored, but they probably don't want to sponsor the mouse issue. Brought to you by Razer.
Brought to you by Razer. Oh dear. Yeah, that would not be a good one.
CJ E&M logos in the back. To clarify the point from before, CJ E&M obviously own the CJ Entus team.
Yeah.
Also on GameNet, or OGN is, well, they are technically OGN now. We've dropped the own GameNet name. Is a television channel on the CJ network. So there is a lot of double and triple dipping happening there.
Yeah. And CJ is a major conglomerate company here. And
they make everything
Korea.
from music videos to white rice.
Yep, they make rice. They deliver things. There's like CJ Lion, I think, is the delivery service name.
If you feel like very strongly about your employer, man, you can really apply that to many different sectors in Korea.
Yeah, you know, and if you tell somebody you work for CJ, it doesn't really tell them much because they're just like, well,
but they're
there's
impressed.
a million
They're
things.
usually like nonplussed but impressed. Like, oh,
Yeah. Like, okay.
CJ, I've heard of them.
You're not a teacher.
No, you're not an English teacher. Not to say anything bad about English teachers, but of course, foreigners.
It's the most expected thing.
For a foreign person, especially, yes.
So it's like a little surprise to them.
And starting to come into the studio, so at least in terms of live attendance, having a little bit of a break now helps.
Yeah.
We've said it a couple of times, but fans find it very hard to get here earlier.
We got a German fan here cheering for Peanut. So, bit of a distance, that is. Come all the way here to cheer on SKTelecom. There's somebody else in the audience. I don't know if we're going to highlight over him, probably not, but Mr. Vault Boy himself is joining us today. Golden Glue has stopped over.
He's in the Korean solo queue test chamber himself, right?
Yeah. Believe, I don't know. I think it was all his decision to just actually come over here and just boot camp for a period of time. So, not sure how long he's here for, but honestly, I respect it. You know, that's a good move to make.
Actually a pretty common thing to find. I mean, Nien was here, Nien Tonso from CLG was here as well. I like how it's an SKT fan, but also has the Mickey ears. Although, to be fair, any bunny ears, I would just call Mickey ears at this point.
Well, that wasn't Bunny.
I know.
It was a cat.
That's fair.
Cats kill bunnies.
Do they?
Yeah.
I'm not actually aware of that interaction.
I've had feral cats back from my hometown in New Jersey.
What
that
about
would kill
domesticated cats?
bunnies. They might, but they're more likely to act like they're going to kill it, and then they run away in fear.
Ah. I've met your cat. Runs away in fear from many things.
Yes, she is definitely a bit of a scaredy cat, that one.
This man on your screen, not a scaredy cat in the slightest.
I mean, he's had to play that way the last couple exchanges.
Took him a while to learn. It was the first 15 twin fangs to the face in the space of a minute that perhaps taught him.
Oh, okay. This is bad. Faker can kill me. So, still just getting this figured out here with Bang.
The mouse issue words are off the screen, so we're hoping the video games will start. There they are.
We go. All right, so diving back in. Hopefully everything is taken care of. And we can get right back in for the action here. SKT, just to catch you guys up, 16 minutes into the game. Going to stack a little bit more gold onto that lead for themselves here as they almost have 2,000. Soggy, though, nice flash away from the Ash Arrow. Takes him out to safety.
That flash was almost off cooldown. It feels like just a moment ago we saw Sungyun flashing away from an arrow.
Yep. So keeps himself safe yet again, but this time the turret does go down. So SKTelecom just keep pushing forward, 2,000 gold in the lead. And this is definitely a bad spot to be in for the ROX Tigers. Mickey popping that Yomu's Ghost Blade, pushing forward, threatening Wolf, but there's so many members nearby to back him up.
Let's cover the item builds for a moment as well. We are still in League of the Blade of the Ruin King. Even Ash will be going forwards that as a one-item power spike.
Is that the name of it on the subreddit? Because it really should be.
People definitely slept on the Blade of the Ruin King changes, but if Ash is building Blade of the Ruin King, you know the power level is pretty high. And it's a one-item power spike that it feels like only lethality abusers have had recently. So the fact that auto-attack AD carries can actually get a power spike from an item makes it so relevant as a rush choice, and Bilgewater gives you all the laning stats you're looking for as well.
Sad boys, we actually don't have a custom meme-ish name on the League subreddit right now, but League of the Blade of the Ruin King is pretty accurate.
League of Cleavers, a thing behind us, but Blade of the Ruin King certainly... We're seeing 3 to 4 a game, which lets you know that's pretty damn good. But I'm happy that it's, you know, varied up the champion pool a little bit, as Huni's already got quite a lot of armor.
Yep, he's by himself. Let's see what ROX can get done here. Chain of Corruption coming through. Mickey going to start tanking things up. And he gets popped up, still about half HP, but he will go down to the end. Ignite is there to help tick him away on top of the bleeds. So they do get a kill, but they're losing that tier 1 turret in top, in mid lane, simultaneously.
Yeah,
So
looked like they
ROX
wanted to
gonna be
trade
losing
up,
out.
but only a kill. If it's 2 towers, it's a pretty big penalty.
Yeah, and Peanuts here now to back up Faker. A couple more minions, a couple more shots will do it. So 2 tier 1s just for the kill. there, and that turn in the bottom lane for the ROX Tigers, so definitely not much of an advantageous trade.
Now, the only advantage that ROX gets is the game now does have more turrets down, so maybe this will be what specifically the Talon needs to get picks. I know it sounds like a backhanded compliment, but if we just kept laning, the armor items would get ridiculous on the side of the Shen, so even if it's a immediate downgrade in terms of turrets, it's at least going to increase the pace of the game or give some options for Mickey, which he desperately needs because it's all been pretty inevitable one-way traffic so far, inching towards the side of SKTelecom T1.
Second Infernal Drake definitely would help out ROX Tigers here. We see that spawn up. Get vision via the Scuttle Crab, but likely want a pick before they go for this. SKT will not let this one go without a fight. You'd have to expect. Huni's already splitting in the top lane. Has the Sand United, has the TP ready to go.
Have a lot of vision here, advanced to ROX, only around the Gromp area, no more. So largely blind, even though Talon is pushing up the minions.
Ward inside the pip, gets stomped off by the control ward. Dragon gets started up. Huni still in the top lane so far, hasn't come in with the Stand United. See, he's going to start channeling it now onto Peanut, but the Dragon does go over to Mighty Bears. He take this one out. He'll get locked down by the taunt, but actually is able to flash over the wall, so it seems like ROX Tigers just walked away with an objective for themselves. Petrifying Gaze thrown onto Mickey, who is trying to cheat in from the backside. Jumps back in onto Faker, trying to trade back some damage. Will parkour away. See if he can get himself out of this one, but seems like a bit of a rough situation to be in for the Talon. Slows up Bang, trying to run his way out of here. We'll just trade some damage back before he goes down. Hands that kill over to Bang.
Yeah, the Chunk's looking good, but was always going to die one way or the other. In the end, gives an assist and a kill over to SKT, so questionable whether the value was there, although it gave time for ROX Tigers to get into other minion waves.
Triple Infernal Drake. What a way to start things off.
Couldn't ask for much more if you're ROX Tigers.
Yeah, I mean, the die roll's been pretty loaded so far for them.
If it was double Ocean, they'd kind of be boned at this point. But with the double Infernal, like, okay, still a chance. Play the Ruin Kings on AD carries tells us another thing about the meta Achilles. A lot of people can kill Baron pretty fast. Where they play the Ruin King everywhere.
Especially the Ashe. So those flurries going.
I believe damage cap to monsters increased to 60 from 40 with this Beta Ruin King change as well. So do even more damage to those monsters. Only been kind of periods of excitement and largely been pretty organized gameplay, which given the manner in which SKT was steamrolled by Samsung is a good thing for SKTelecom. They're playing this game as they should. He's caught out.
Yeah, flashes away from the Ashe. Gets a double pop up there with the Strangle Thorns, but won't lead to any follow-up from the rest of the ROX Tigers. So maybe we would see Songyun going for the Chain of Corruption, but wants to just play back.
He wants to Faker. Faker has very low mana.
Yeah, Mickey's going in, pops the Shadow Assault coming through, dodges out on the Petrifying Gaze, so Faker actually just missing that one, but Mickey will go ahead and peel back, knows that SKT was roaming up to kill him.
Yeah, they don't have river control, so he couldn't just continue to persist for a solo kill.
He's jumping back, so Mickey's going to stick around for a little bit longer, try to play this as cheekily as he possibly can, but...
It's fun how you learn more about what's happening from the minimap than actually the 1v1, because he only started to cheat forward as the cavalry was coming for ROX Tigers.
Yeah, Faker's just going to have to keep running away here. Knows that Mickey can pursue him to the ends of the earth, just jumping over those walls. But he will go ahead and back off. But, I mean, no summoner spell's going to be blown from either side. Just going to be the ultimates coming out. ROX now, we're going to go ahead and start up this Baron.
No Cassio's in base, remember.
Hawkshot has not come through yet here from Bang. But they see the rest of SKT wrapping around, so they will go ahead and peel off.
I like the attempt at starting. They knew that Cassio had to be in base, so at best it would be a 4v5 from the side of SKT.
It also wouldn't have a Petrifying Gaze if she joined back in.
It was a good little heads-up move, but doesn't get them that much. Only tries to peel away some of the members of SKT. They don't have a teleport user that needs to come in early, so they can't just get a free teleport from the top lane and repeat it because it's Shen. You can be so much more steadfast about summoners.
Oh, Key this time, no flash available, will get locked down. Taunt coming through from Huni as he leashes in the red buff for good measure, and that's just going to be a kill going over to Faker, his first of the game. 1-0 and 2. Mickey can get better of this one, wants to try to go back in on a Peanut, but go ahead and back off. So a little indecisive there for the Talon. Worried about getting collapsed on.
In the pings from SKT onto the Baron, going to clear both wards. Talon has to stop his back.
I mean, this is an Ashe and a Cassiopeia. They can shred this thing down. ROX Tigers should be able to put up one hell of a fight, though, with that double Infernal Drake. You see the TPs coming through from Shy already. Mighty Bear popping the thrill to Hunt. The lockdown Wolf with that Chain of Corruption. He's going to get taken out as Mighty Bear goes forward, kills him off with the ball, and they found Bang as Mickey goes in. Big burst of the collateral damage coming through, taking out the Talon. They'll find one fired back here onto Shy, so a 2 for 2, but the Baron halted by ROX Tigers.
Zyra back as well, so now they have 3 members with a 2 for 2 with numbers disadvantage. It's pretty good from the side of ROX. SKT get the big objective, which in that case was the teleport, because now Renekton doesn't have teleport.
Double global.
And double global is certainly going to be something for SKT to play around for the next 5 minutes or so.
Still though, nice fight by ROX, and now they're going to look to transition this into at least an objective as they start whittling away at this turret. Flash over the wall, comes Faker. Doesn't have a petrifying gaze, but still has a lot of damage to output onto that. Zyra takes him out. Now going to be looking for Songyin, who's ticking down. The poison will get him in the end with the help of Huni here, who lands the Shadow Dash in on a Mighty Bear, who just cannot get away into the line. Takes him out, and SKTelecom end up getting the unofficial ace off the backside of that attempted push in mid.
And this ended up being a jump scare with Faker in the Wolf camp. Didn't even notice it on the minimap. Flashed over, 3 kills to the side of SKT, and they got the teleport first. Now they cleaned up the kills, and it feels like SKT only needed to pick up the Baron, put the final nail in the coffin of the ROX Tigers.
Yeah, where things were looking so even just a little bit ago. ROX now going to be struggling. SKT whittling away at this Baron, still only down to about half HP at the moment. Mickey and Shy going to do what they can to try to delay this one, but Shy, he's going to get taken out. Mickey gets locked up by that crystalline arrow, has to flash away and jump over the wall as SKT goes back over to the Baron to take this one out. Bang going low. Seems like he may just be okay. Mickey does not have the flash, does not have the Shadow Assault to try to get on top of the Ashe. Can't do a damn thing, and that's going to be Baron going over to SKT, 25.5 minutes.
With Randuin's and Sunfire, Huni can tank the Baron forever, peel off for a taunt, and go back to keeping it. So they never have to unleash the Baron. With how tanky from armor and health, the best stats for tanking Baron you can be is Faker flashing over was just the death knell for all these members of the ROX Tigers. The one area they didn't have vision of until just a moment previously was that Raptor cap. As they put the ward in, so did Faker come over. Yeah, parkour over the back. SKT harassing them away from Triple Infernal.
Yep, and they're just going to go ahead and keep this thing leashed here in their favor. So first Dragon picked up here for SKTelecom, denying the Triple Infernal away from the ROX Tigers. And with that plus the Baron, seems like they'll have everything necessary to close this game out. Feels like it's a much later game, but it's only 26 minutes in because of that pause.
I think also, you know, building the storyline as get it done early or go home. We were always looking for ROX to make the big plays. They never came, and now there's that air of inevitability. Oni is just ungodly tanky, although catching Bang.
Yeah, hello, Shy walks in, tries to find Bang, is able to take him out, takes a bit of damage from that redemption, gets finished off.
Okay, 2 kills.
Actually does find Wolf, so the bottom lane of SKTelecom is taken out. Now Mickey going to be hot on the heels of this Grace, slowing him up with a rake, dashing forward with the Q. Has to be careful, there's so much damage, and Peanut can trade back, and he's able to get it off, dashes forward. And the buckshot to the face takes out the Talon.
And never even calls in the stand united from Huni. Just does it himself, does Peanut. 6-0-2 already. Having a monster impact on this game. A welcome return to form from Peanut after he was monstered by Haru in that last series. And meanwhile, SKT taking so much standing gold on the map.
Yeah, bottom, inner turret, mid going down simultaneously. Peanut bringing up the wave in the top lane. SKTelecom just surging forward, almost 10,000 gold in the lead here now at 27 minutes. Started off so calm, it was even for the longest time, which we already said was bad for ROX, but this is pretty damning for sure, as SKTelecom definitely cashed in.
Peanut and Faker especially doing the majority of that cashing in. It's been so comfortable controlled from SKT. You never really know how teams will react from an unlikely loss. You know, Sin KT, for example, come pretty unglued in recent weeks after losses, whereas SKT, only 2nd loss of the season, going back to the tried and true game plan.
Well, Shy, you're in a bad spot. Might have to pop the TP to get out of here safely. I think at this point, maybe you just let yourself die, though. The timers aren't terribly long.
And dash through Peanut, though, so he's actually fine.
Mickey seems like he was having other thoughts. Seemed like they wanted to collapse in onto Peanut, but Shy doesn't want anything to do with that one.
But then you notice he has Black Cleaver and Sterix Gauge and Ninja Tabi, so Peanut's actually tanky in his own right.
Yeah, popping him is going to be a bit of a challenge.
Health is already a really good stat against Talon. When you get to build health and armor on multiple members, Talon's
Feels amazing.
yeah. Kill potential for Talon goes completely out the window. Doesn't really have any good targets apart from the Karma. SKT's siege isn't wonderful, so for now they're going to be halted.
Yeah, wave clear. Still going to be strong here from the side of the ROX Tigers, but with Song in on the Varus.
And is that our first Thornmail of the season from Huni? Might be.
Yeah, might be. He's coming through, just sacking up all the armor that he possibly can. Faker's going to get locked down. Grasping Roots barely missing him. And that connected from Key. Likely would have seen the all-in from Mickey.
Why not Guardian Angel has kind of been the story for Thornmail and why no one's picked it up, but guess what? There's no magic damage at all, so pick up Thornmail and just be obnoxious. Got 257 armor, even with 4 stacks of the Black Cleaver on him already.
Huni's like, why should I kill you when you can just kill yourself by attacking me? Well, seems like a pretty sound plan coming through from him thus far. Lateral damage coming through, takes Key rather low. Wave clear still here from Songyin, but Revolution's coming down on top of SKT to keep them all topped off. Asher comes out, locks up the Talon. Faker's already finding the first blood of the fight as Key goes down. Shy popping the Dominus, trying to find a way in here as Faker just goes fearlessly forward, taken so very low. One piercing arrow would finish him off, but he's got the shield from the Seraph's Embrace, and now Mighty Bear on the backside of the fight will get taken out, and the Cassiopeia, one hit from dead, will stay alive for a little bit longer as the base gets broken for the ROX Tigers.
I mean, in comical fashion, they were all trade tanking the turret to dive members. Didn't even wait for a minion wave because everyone has health and armor.
Screw
the
it.
exact statistics that help you to tank turrets. So even turrets are no objective. For SKTelecom T1, 11,000 gold ahead, and maybe they can pick up a Crocodile too. Huni failed that.
Yeah, Taunt not connecting there, so Shy going to be all right. So Guardian Angel will stay on for him, but you can see SKT basically playing with their food at this point, just bleeding rocks dry as slowly and surely as they possibly can.
Purchases come in. Feels like this game is being played in increments of Chain Vest, but even some damage being put together. The Bang is gone. You know, we've seen a lot of different builds with the Blade of the Ruin King. We've seen early Black Cleavers, even on Ashe. Previously, it was just Lucian. Then a lot of European AD carries were going Black Cleaver early on Ashe. We haven't seen so much of that here, but Anim Dancer is the second Zeal item. Does give you that bit more trading damage and indirect tankiness in a 1v1 duel. And given that people are diving the Ashe, it's actually going to be pretty good in terms of statistical effectiveness. Phantom Dancer plus Ninja Tabi. It's not a lot of physical damage between the two, if you think about it.
With Blade of the Root King where it's at, it's going to more than make up for it.
Varus has a Rage Blade, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, all right, Songyun.
Magic damage, baby. He found the magic damage, guys.
All right. This was the plan all along.
Yep. There we go. Varus hybrid damage, definitely going to be relevant this game.
Mickey's like, no, I'll play Talon, you just get a Rage Blade. Songyun, though, speaking of which, we get locked up by that Ashe Arrow Redemption coming down. We'll whittle him away a little bit more. Huni dashes forward, trying to find that taunt, but he's not going to be able to get it. But Mickey, he goes in, just trying to pop somebody on SKTelecom, but he's going to get taken out. 3 kills already going over to SKTelecom. A double here for Bang. We'll see if he can add more to that. As Shy comes back up from the Guardian Angel. Nope. Will be taken away by Peanut. So 2 double kills here for SKTelecom, and that should be the end of the game as Super Creeps go ahead and push in onto those Nexus turrets.
Yeah, everyone on SKT is a tank effectively, so they're just going to end the game at 32 minutes. The pause extended it. The ROX Tigers took a gambit. They went all in on physical burst damage. Wasn't to be.